Longtime journalist Norm Clarke has died at the age of 82. Clarke, known for his trademark eye patch, spent many years at the Rocky Mountain News before moving to Las Vegas, where he was a staple of the celebrity gossip scene. Many of Clarke's friends, family, former colleagues have been paying tribute today. Our 9 News reporter Kevin Vaughn is one of Norm Clarke's former colleagues at the Rocky Mountain News, and it seemed like you knew him well. Can you tell us just a little bit more about his life? You know the name for sure, but who was he like?
He was a reporter for a half century and more. And when I started at the Rocky, he was sort of this mythic character. He had the eye patch, which he started wearing for an illness, but eventually it just became his signature. He drove a convertible sports car. If the sun was out, the top was down. But what Norm Clarke really was a really serious journalist. He broke the story that Colorado was getting a Major League Baseball team. He's called that many times the most important story of his career. He broke major stories on the MGM Grand Fire in Las Vegas. He worked in Cincinnati for a number of years. He was a dogged reporter, and I really learned that after the Columbine tragedy, which, as you can imagine, was an all-hands situation in the Rocky Mountain News newsroom. And here was Norm, who at that time was sort of our man about town columnist, pitching in, and not only pitching in, but coming up with scoops and feeding information to reporters like me that we could take and chase and get new information, get new stories, tell stories nobody else was telling in town. He was a really good journalist. He was a really good guy. I stayed in touch with him after he left for Las Vegas. Yeah. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer about almost 25 years ago, and it was real serious at the beginning. And I think, he did really well for a long, long time. And I think he was very grateful that he found out he was sick when he did, that he got the treatment he got. And, he was still working and telling stories just into the last few months.
That's incredible. I think what you did is point out what a lot of journalists are, because you just see what's on the outside. And I knew that name from, breaking the celebrity gossip and the scoop. But the fact that he was able to do so many things and wear so many hats, I think that's something a lot of people didn't know necessarily. Right.
And one of the things that's interesting is he was hired at the Rocky Mountain News to cover a baseball team when Denver did not have a Major League Baseball team. The paper had the foresight to think that Denver was going to get a team eventually. And so he spent a couple of years building sources, and then it was Norm who broke the story. The headline on the Rocky that day was, "It's Denver, Miami." Those are the two cities that got teams in that 1991 expansion announcement.
Incredible. Certainly someone who will be missed and whose legacy will live on. Thank you for sharing some of your insight.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you.